Let's go. All right, goalies, saving penalties. Very topical right now. FA Cup final went to pens, Europa League final went to pens, something that I get asked a lot of questions about. How do I save a penalty? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna give you my top 5 tips to try and help you save those pens. Let's jump straight in. Tip number 1, with penalties, back yourself. Be confident. The pressure is completely off. Someone has a free shot at goal from 12 yards out. No defenders, they should score. There is zero pressure on you as a keeper. Use that to your advantage. Be confident. Go into that situation feeling like you're gonna save the pen. Something that I like to do to be confident, I like to talk to the strikers. I like to make it a competitive battle between the two of us, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. By being confident, filling up the goal, you're putting more pressure onto the penalty taker. And if they score, so what? They're supposed to score. But if you save it, that's a big, big bonus for your team. Be confident and back yourself. Tip number 2, do your research. Not possible for everyone, of course, but if you can, try and do a little bit of research on the potential penalty takers before your game. If you have access to footage, watch back some of their previous games, have a look at where they put their penalties, the style of their run-up, what foot they use. All these little bits of information will help you to make a decision in your mind that you can commit to. Every little bit of information can help in that moment. As we saw with Bryce Samba and his water bottle in the Championship playoff game against Sheffield United, listing all the penalty takers, where he was gonna dive for each one. It's not the first time we've seen that trick, but it just goes to show any little bit of information can help, as it did with him in that penalty shootout win. Tip number 3, read the environment. Especially important if you don't have access to footage to do tip number 2. Loads of things can affect where a penalty is going to go. What foot are they taking the penalty with? Are they a technical player or someone that's prone to just smashing it as hard as possible? What minute of the game are they taking the penalty in? What is the score at the point in time that they're taking the penalty? Look at their teammates. Which side of the area are they more bunched up in? They watch them take penalties all the time, maybe they're giving you a clue. And if you don't have access to previous footage, these things can give you a really big clue as to where the striker might put their penalty. Bringing us on to tip number 4, do not change your mind. Once you've made your decision, stick with it. Indecision brings apprehension, brings nerves, brings anxiety, and often a very poor attempt at saving the penalty. Once you've observed all that information, use it to make a decision. In those moments before the penalty is taken, stick with that decision. Back yourself, tip number 1, and commit to it 100%. Do not change your mind. And my final tip, tap in to the dark arts. There's a brilliant Twitter thread by Gear Jordan that I really encourage you to take a look at, because there are so many little tips and tricks that you can use to try and get into the head of the opposition. All is fair in love, war, and penalties. Whether it's confronting the striker on the penalty spot, whether it's spatial domination, talking to them, trying to get into their head, convincing them that you know where they're gonna go. Could be goal line distraction, as we saw with the very famous Bruce Grobbelaar save. I've even seen whole teams confronting penalty takers trying to get into their head. There are lots and lots of tips and tricks, little dark arts that you can use to try and get that little bit more of an advantage. So as I said, read that Twitter thread, see if any of them work for you.
Kändes väl en liten aning tveksam. Hovander för att ta tillbaka HTFF in i den här matchen. Det gör han inte, för han missar Erabi. Missar han också. Och den här första halvleken är sannoliken inte HTFFs.
But there you have it, my top 5 tips to help you save penalties. Not a surefire method, but will hopefully give you that little bit of advantage that you need. Let me know down in the comments what you use to try and help you to save a penalty. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, keep chasing improvement, and I'll speak to you in a bit.